Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Welcome back to Crochet Vision. I'm Benjamin, and this is Sarah.
In today's video, we are going to be talking about the craft show that we had Mother's Day weekend.
Yes.
It's been a little bit, but I have not had a chance to recap any of these craft shows. So we're going back in time to May.
Yesteryear.
I don't know how, it's already July. The year's halfway over already.
I know.
What happened? I don't know. This craft show last year, we had a few drama issues, and we had different drama issues this year. I will also, again, I will link that video left here.
Sure.
You told me left.
It's left. I don't know how the camera's going to flip it, but
I think, I'm pretty sure that that's right. Gonna link it. This craft show last year, we call her Soap Lady. I will not share people's names. She sells soap. That's why she's Soap Lady. I'm not making fun of her or anything. However, last year, this craft show is a little bit more expensive. It's an 11 by 13 space. It's not just a 10 by 10.
It's also a juried event.
It's a juried event. It's a pretty expensive show. And it says in the contract that you have to jury in your items. And you also, you can't split a booth. It explicitly says that in the rules. And so they had let 2 crocheters in already, and this vendor decided to break the rules and split her booth with someone else and didn't tell the coordinator. Now, again, I don't care that there was a 3rd crocheter there. My problem is the shady nonsense that they did to make that happen, and then other shady nonsense that happened afterwards. But again, if you want to watch the recap of that, you can go watch it here.
So we've got 2 videos for this show, kind of. 2 for this year, and then the 1 original from last year.
If you want to watch the vlog from this craft show, I will now link that video here. I've been separating out the craft show vlogs and the videos, and I think that I'm starting to like that format. Let me know what you guys think below. If you don't like it, maybe we'll start combining them back into one. We have 8 more shows, something like that, through September. So we have a lot more of these that we're going to be doing. However, a lot of them are at the same location, so I'm not sure how exciting and how interesting they're really going to be. So we might combine some of them. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Who knows what the media gods will give us.
However, Soap Lady at this show actually said hi to me. Spoke to me. Her and I used to be decent friends.
They were buddies.
And then she pulled this nonsense and then was avoiding me, and it was kind of weird. But she said hi to me at the show, and then that was it. There was no other communication, so no problems with Soap Lady, and I will take that as a win. This craft show had me really concerned with setup because I didn't get a setup email. Normally when you do a craft show, wherever you find the show from, I get a setup email the day before. Most times it's the day before. Sometimes it's a week before if they're really on top of it. Anyway, I didn't get the setup email. I was on the list. I did have a spot. But my concern now that I'm thinking about it and thinking back at it, I really am going to have to pay attention around February and April and talk to my vendor friends, because that might mean that I'm not on the returning vendor list just because my email got missed on the other emails. So I'm going to have to pay close attention to that when it comes to set up for next year or signing up for next year. But I think I'm going to have to cross that bridge when I get to it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's nothing I can really do. I'm not going to...
I mean, you've got her phone number. You can
Right.
just shoot her a text or her email, whatever you have.
Yeah, the email.
Just be like, hey, I do want to be a returning vendor this year. I know my email was missed. My email address was missed in the setup emails. Just wanted to make sure I'm on the returning vendor list.
That's a good idea. I should probably do that. Sarah, email the coordinator.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wasn't on the setup list, so that had me nervous. I was really worried about my spot. I really wanted my spot that I had the year before. It was on a different corner. The way that the tents are set up, and I'm going to try to start doing a better job of getting more footage at the shows of the whole show, not just where my booth is. But we're in these big tents, and we had an 11 by 13 spot, but it would go 3 vendors, aisle, 3 vendors, end of tent. So end of tent, aisle, end of tent. And then there was an aisle in between the 2 sets of vendors. I don't know if that makes any sense. Did I explain that well? I don't think I did.
It's a big tent. This big. there's 12 vendors with an aisle going in each direction across.
Thank you.
3.
So we last year were on an end. This year we were next to one of the aisles, and it worked really well with the way that I was able to pull out to the other, in between the two tents, as opposed to pulling out to the rides. And I think that worked really, really well, just for the way that we set up.
Because the aisle, so you have your big tent, then there was another big tent, another big tent. There was space in between the sets of tents that went from the food area to the ride area. So if people were going from one to the other, they had to walk between the tents or through the tents. So if they were walking between the tents, they saw our stuff that was pushed out. And if they walked in our tent, then they saw the stuff from the other side.
And normally pulling out from a 10 by 10 is a big fat no-no. Like, they want you to stay within your 10 by 10 space. You're not allowed to extend past it, anything like that. This show, they really encourage it.
Yeah.
The coordinator loves that I do that every year. So I would not recommend doing that unless you have explicit permission, because that is something that can get you in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Something else that can get you in a lot of trouble: not showing up on time.
Oh, yeah, not showing up on time, or like showing up hours and hours after the event started.
And not communicating that with the coordinator. Day one, the vendor at the end, so 2 past me, she had her stuff set up, like jewelry and things just out, no covers on it or anything, and she showed up like 2 hours late the first day. Didn't call the coordinator. The coordinator had no idea what was going on, couldn't get in touch with the vendor. I was mind blown. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm late to like every show, and was bragging about it. That is a great way to not get invited back. And I know people who have had issues and they've not been invited back. And I also, like, if that's me in a situation and I'm having an issue getting there on time, I will call the coordinator, because especially at this show, if you're running late or something and the show is starting and your stuff isn't covered the way hers is, they'll have someone sitting in your booth waiting to make sure no one's stealing anything. Her stuff was just out there in the open, which is another reason why we cover our stuff. But
she lost, I know for sure, she lost on that first day at least 4 sales. Multiple people went into her booth, thought her stuff was super cute, and then was asking the other vendors near her, is this your booth? Is this your, like, who do I pay? I want to get these earrings. I know that happened at least 4 times in the first hour or 2 that she wasn't there the first day. And
some shows don't let you sell before the show opens. Like, they'll say if the show opens at 10 and you have to be set up in there by 9, you're not allowed to sell in that hour. I've had shows where that happens. I haven't done one of those in a while, but normally if the show, like, especially a lot of the shows that we do, the show doesn't start until 10. If we're set up by 8 or 9, people will start shopping beforehand, especially your other vendors.
Other vendors love to shop before the rest of the crowd gets there.
They want to support everybody. I mean,
not just that, but also they know they're not going to get the chance during the day.
Yeah, but I feel like especially like a lot of vendors generally are supportive to the other fellow vendors.
Yeah, how many honey people do we have now?
Right.
Like 5?
Right. But I love honey.
I know, I'm not just saying, like, we've got like 5 different honey vendors that, depending on which show we're at,
get honey from one of them.
Yeah.
Whoever's there.
I mean, we've done that with so many things. Magnets and stickers and your
spices. Oh, my neck. Yeah, I gotta get another one of those. But anyway, being late to a show is a great way to not be invited back. There are a few things you could do that would... I feel like there aren't a ton of things you could do. It's one of the top things that can get you not invited back. Especially because the coordinator said, like, setup was between like 8 a.m. and 6, but if you needed to, she could stay until 7, and she had the coordinator stay until 7 for setup.
Yeah,
and
she
then
had
was
the
late.
Coordinator stay late the day before, and then was late arriving. Like, really late.
And was late every single day.
The first day was the worst.
Yeah.
I think Friday she was only there like a half hour late, and I don't know how late she was on Saturday.
I just know she was also late on Saturday.
Okay.
I knew she was late all 3 days. And then also, it's such a bad look. Your business name is out there. People know what that business, it just looks, it's bad. It's not good. Don't be late. Don't be that person. Don't be late. And I understand things happen. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes, like, but if something like that happens, contact the coordinator. Be communicative. Don't be a jerk. And don't be bragging that you're late to every show. It's yucky.
Is no bueno.
It's yucky. Jellyfish. I tried displaying my jellyfish a new way this year. It wasn't even this year. It was just at the show. And I think it worked pretty well.
It did.
Apart from just having them sit on the table. At some of my other shows, like if it was windy, the setup with the jellyfish on the spinner isn't going to work very well. But 10 by 10, I think it worked pretty well. So that is going to be a keeper, I think, provided the wind isn't too bad at the show.
I mean, that's anytime the wind is bad, we don't put the jellyfish up, though. Like previously, we would have them hanging from the tent by the same magnets that we used on the spinner.
That's fair. I will also link the magnet hooks that we use below. They're from Amazon. They're like $7 for 5 of them or something like that. They're not pricey, and I can either hang the magnet hooks from the tent or from the spinner. Yeah. They work really well. Yeah, or the grid wall. I will also link the signs below as well. I loved having signs. I think signs is something we're going to start doing more of, especially because I sell my patterns online. People were constantly scanning it for my YouTube channel and for the patterns, and you can see on this, I don't even know which QR code.
One of the QR code website that I used, which I will no longer be using for other reasons, gave us analytics for like how many times each QR code was clicked or screenshotted, whatever the heck it's called, picture taken of it. You know, it was pretty cool because it was scanned. That's the word I was looking for.
There we go.
It was scanned a whole lot more times than we realized. So that was cool. I will not be using that website just because I signed up for a free trial. They did not tell me that they were automatically going to start charging at the end of that free trial. I should have known.
That's how
I should have known.
Trials.
I should have known. But then I canceled it, and then the next month they charged me anyway, and I canceled it again and had to contact their customer support.
Well, what was also annoying was it didn't automatically charge. They just stopped working without any warning. Because we didn't find out until...
That's what it was. We had done the free trial, and then they worked the first day of the show, and then they didn't work the second day, and someone was like, hey, your QR codes aren't working. And I was like, thank you so much. Because
a bunch of people had scanned it already and didn't say anything. So if something like that happens, like, sometimes just let the people at the vendor booth know.
Yeah. So I had to go to the website, pay
$25
for a month, which was wild.
Yeah. But I needed them working for that show because clearly people were using it. But anyway.
Then I immediately switched to a different website that was 100% free. I don't need all the analytics. It was cool to see, but I don't need it anymore.
Right. An annoying thing with this show, one of the vendors of like the games, like the kids games where you pay and then I don't know if it was you throw the ball into the fish. No, because that one you get the fish. One of the kids games, they were giving away trumpets for the children, and they were like
little plastic
squeaky trumpets. If you listen, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you listen in that video, you can hear the like squeaking, and that was the trumpets all weekend. Oh my god. Yep. Every freaking day.
As soon as the kids started to arrive,
it was miserable, but there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. And it wasn't like another one of our vendors. It was the carnival people.
Carnival games.
Oh, so annoying.
It was the most
obnoxious,
annoying, repetitive, non-stop sound. It was terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. No, the day was fine. Those trumpets, terrible.
Oh my god. We sold hats in May, and
like warm hats.
I did not think, I mean, by that point the weather was getting nice, so I didn't think about, normally once the weather gets nice, like once it hits April, May, I don't bring hats. And I've been low on stock. I'm still low on stock. So I was like, I'll put out a table of hats. And they were selling at both of my shows that I would not have normally put hats out at. So lesson learned. I'm not going to be bringing them to my beach shows, but that's only because the wind at the beach, that's a story for another day. That's for the next market recap. It didn't work. But if, like, my show in August, I'm bringing hats to my shows in August that aren't at the beach because you don't know. That proved it to me that I was like, all right, well, guess we're bringing hats.
I mean, it's July right now and stores have Halloween in them, so.
Don't even get me started on this Halloween in the stores already. It's not even July 4th. However, speaking of hats,
one got stolen. And I chased her.
Well, I chased her.
And then I chased her. And this woman outran us.
I have never had a situation where I've caught someone stealing like this. And so I didn't handle it well, and I am first one to say that. I know some people say they wouldn't have chased after people. I did. The way this happened, I recognized this customer from my Christmas show. She tried on every single flipping hat that I had at Christmas time and ended up buying one. She came back like 3 times.
Made you change pom-poms on them multiple times to see which combination she liked better and which one worked best with her hair. And
she was back at this show and she spotted the hat that I remember was the hat she was looking at the last Christmas show. And she took it. And there was another customer who looked at me and looked at her and was like, did she pay for that? And I was like, did she pay for what? She goes, did she pay for that hat? I was like, she didn't buy a hat, no. And he goes, well, she just took it and she's going. She's like, you better go get her. And I was like, yeah, I better go get her.
And I think I was getting food when this happened.
I don't know.
I was there because
you were just busy.
Because as soon as I got back, you were like, this woman just stole a hat.
You might have gone to the bathroom.
Maybe. It was either food or bathroom. It was something. Like it was one of the few breaks where it wasn't both of us at the booth.
So I ran up to her and I was like, ma'am, you were just in my booth and like a hat's gone. Did you just take a hat? Oh no, I didn't. Absolutely. And like was really defensive. I was like, okay. And it's not like I was going to ask her to open her bag. Ben says he would have asked that. But I was so flustered and didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, okay. And I went back to the booth and I was like, she said she didn't have it. Like, it was weird. Ben was like, I'm going to go talk to her. Ben went to go find her and she was gone.
She was gone.
Like, and all of this happened within a very short period of time. She
like
was
a 1 minute time frame.
An older woman. She was rather hunched over. Her hair was a fun color. And she's a very, like, and I don't say that to be mean. I'm saying that to be like, she was very distinct. Like, her hair was like a reddish orange, but it was clearly a very, like, dyed reddish orange. And her hair was thin, so you could definitely tell, like, when you're older and you dye your hair, that generally tends to happen. I'd venture to say she was in her late 70s, would be my guess. And gone.
Yeah.
Gone. I was shocked. And if you would have handled that situation differently, let me know. I know a lot of people will say, like, you're not supposed to run after customers, especially at, like, a restaurant or in a retail situation. I don't know.
I went after.
I
would have been like, you didn't take it? Oh, can I see your bag then? Then let's go get a cop because we've got 2 people that saw you take it.
Yeah, I think that's something I need to sit on of how I want to handle that in the future and how we should, I mean.
It's obviously, it would be very different if you didn't think that she took it and then the guy also said, hey, she just took that. Like, if it had just been you or it had just been me and be like, where'd that hat go? Like, I would be like, she probably took it, but I didn't see it.
Right.
So.
The fact that someone said she literally took it, and I went back and I looked and it was a very distinct pink hat. It was gone. So, and I'm sure we'll see her again because that's not the first time we've seen her. We've seen her at other shows. We've seen her at a few other shows. So.
And that's the thing. She has, like when Sarah was describing her, she has a very distinct look. Like, I could see this woman from 100 feet away
And know
and know it was her.
Yep.
Like, know who she is. Because every time we've dealt with her, she's been picky and just...
entitled.
And I don't know about entitled. I would just say picky. And when you're picky and you just are persistent with it, like, you stick out in people's minds. And then on top of that, you've got a very distinct hair color and look about you.
You were trying so hard to not say the word annoying, and I love you so much. I'm like, oh, you mean annoying?
I mean, it's one thing to be annoying. It's another thing to be...
as picky as she was.
Yeah, she was...
And she was rude, too. Like, she wasn't nice about it when she was asking me to change the pom-poms that I had to... Like, I remember her so distinctly from this Christmas show.
Plus the fact that it wasn't a great Christmas show. So it was like...
No.
It's very easy to remember customers from it. But we've seen her before that and since then now. So it's... I'm sure we will see her again at some point.
Yep.
And if she's wearing that pink hat, I'm taking it from her head. Okay. I won't do that. But I'll be like, I hope that hat keeps your head warm. Hey guys, if you're liking this video, please give it a paw up. That means hit the like button. My mom and dad, they work real hard on these videos. And they give me Treatos. One like is one Treato.
There were a few things that happened that, like, I just don't know how, if it happened to us, I would respond.
Like someone else passing out in your booth?
No.
Or someone's dog peeing on your tablecloths?
Yeah. So there was a woman who basically passed out and almost had a seizure in my one friend's tent. And was almost refusing help from EMS.
She did refuse help from EMS.
But she was passed out on the floor.
Seizure.
Like,
full seizure.
And was saying it was because of the medication she's on, which, okay. And again, she was an older lady. She had a long gray braid. Like, I'm not trying to be prejudiced against old people. Like, some people have said that it's not a good look. I'm like, no, I'm just describing her as a person. She had gray, long braid, and she walked with a cane. She passed, like, on the floor. Like she went up to the booth and she was like, can I sit down for a minute? I don't feel good. The lady's like, oh yeah, sure. She came inside, sat on the chair. 30 seconds later, she's having a seizure on the floor. Like, EMS gets called, they come over, and she refused help from EMS once she stopped having the seizure. And I thought it was the vendor's mother.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was just
some lady that saw she had a chair and was like, hey, can I sit down?
Which... I would absolutely give you my chair, but I was with my friend when it happened, and they were booths next to each other, and both her and I were like, I don't know what I would do right now. Like she was refusing help. It was scary. That happened. Then I almost passed out.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, don't recommend. Do as I say, not as I do. Please make sure you bring water, a fan, electrolytes, food, protein bars, snacks. Don't forget them.
Drink your water, take your meds.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how busy you are, because I think that's also what happened. Saturday, we were so busy. We waited a while to eat. I waited in line to get food. And
in the sun.
It was
ridiculously hot.
Yeah. And
you hadn't had all your water for the day.
I had not. And I was standing there, I'm like, I need to sit down. And I was sitting in our chairs, and we have like the high chairs. And I was like literally like spinning. I'm like, I can't sit in this chair. I need to get on the floor. So then my friend brought me over to her booth because she was practically sold out. Our other friends were there, so they were able to help. Ben, my friend's husband watched our booth. Ben went to go get EMS. EMS came. They were like, we're taking you to the hospital. I was like, no, you're not. I don't know if I told you that.
No, you didn't tell me that part.
Oh, yeah. No, they were ready to take me to the hospital. Yeah. They took, because they didn't know what was wrong. And they're like, you're not diabetic. They're like, we're going to take your sugar anyway. Took my sugar, and we're like, oh, got to fix that. So then we did, and then I was fine. So, moral of the story, if you don't want to go to the hospital at a vendor show, drink your water, take your meds, eat food at the show. Signed, sealed, delivered, Crochet Vision. Oh yeah, they were ready to call an ambulance.
Lovely.
Yep. The donuts. But
Donut envy.
Donut envy saved the day because the one of the other food trucks like wasn't being...
was gonna make them wait in line.
Yeah.
And then like obviously we're fine with paying for the food or the whatever.
Absolutely.
But they were like, you gotta wait in line and pay for it. And it's like, she's having a medical emergency right now. This is the can of soda that you're selling for $2. Let me buy it right now.
And it was because the EMS went with my friend to the booth, so it was kind of crazy. And then they went to the donut booth. Everybody in line at the donut booth was like, EMS is here, let them go to the front of the line. And my friend was ready to buy the donuts and lemonade. They would not let her pay for it. I went up later to try to pay for it because that's what you do as a good person. Yeah. And they would not. They were just happy that I was...
They refused to take payment.
Refused.
They were so happy that she was okay, and that was it. And
they are so nice. So if you're in the area and you ever see Donut Envy... or
they're a blue, red, and white truck, I think.
Whitish truck, yeah.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and their donuts were really good.
Yeah, we've had their donuts before. They're
really
so good.
Yeah.
Fresh made donuts right in front of you. They've got a couple fun flavors, and then like the regular flavors, and it's like...
Their cinnamon sugar was...
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I think they had a cookies and cream donut one time when we saw them around Christmas time. And real good donuts.
Real good donuts.
Thank you. On top of having real good donuts, thank you for...
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I had a friend across from me at her vendor booth, and a dog peed on her tablecloths.
Yeah. So this woman was walking her daughter's dog while the daughter was at another booth. And she walked up to our friend's booth and was looking at the stuff our friend sells, and the dog just lifted its leg and started peeing on it. And all of a sudden, the vendor is like, no. And the lady holding the leash just stared at the dog. Just looked and stared at the dog. Didn't try to get the dog to stop, nothing.
I've had dogs try to pee on the stands, like on the ear warmer stand.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen. But every time that I've had that happen, the owner has done something about it.
Right.
Like, immediately. And offered to help clean it up and, like, try to, like, if anything, like, really good about it.
Yep.
I have no idea what I would have done in that situation.
Yeah. Dog literally... And it was not a small dog. It wasn't a big dog, so it was like a medium. It was probably like a 40-pound dog. And it just lifted its leg and all over the tablecloth. And it's like, what do you do? Like, you can't wash it right then.
You can't wash it then. And she was from out of town. She can't take it back to her hotel and clean the tablecloths. Like,
yeah.
So if you bring your dog to a craft show, please don't beat that person.
Yeah. Just pay attention. Anytime you take your dog or your kids somewhere, you're responsible for what they do.
Yep.
Pay attention to them.
Yep.
Whether it's a dog, a 3-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old. You are responsible for what they do when you take them out. You have to pay attention.
I think the last thing that we have to talk about is rain. When it rains, you have to pay attention. For us, the rain... It didn't rain during the show. This wasn't a show where I needed clear tent walls.
It did. You weren't there.
Okay. It poured on Friday, but this was not a show that we needed clear tent walls. I love the clear tent walls that we got. I'm also going to link those below as well because I know a few people have asked me for it. They should be on the Amazon storefront. If they're not, I'll make sure that they are, but I'm going to link everything that I've mentioned below. When it rains, especially if you're in grass or in a puddle, the rain can soak up the tablecloths, and that's what was starting to happen. Now, by the time we left on Friday, when I put it in the video that the rain was soaking up the floor, there was enough room that it hadn't soaked up that if it was going to continue, it wouldn't hit the stuff on the table. But if it was going to continue raining, it could have been a problem. So it's just something you really need to pay attention to, especially with puddles. And when you're dealing with stuff like mine that really shouldn't get wet. That is a big thing. We also just had to keep checking the weather because, again, when I was pulled out, because they recommend pulling out, that we had to pull those in while it was raining, which I feel like is like an obvious thing to say, but it's just another thing to...
Yeah. And another thing, We didn't show it in the video because there was a portion of the Friday where Sarah had gone home to take care of Ruthie and stuff, and I had neglected to film it. One thing that we bring to every single show, and we very rarely have to use it, but we have used it in numerous ways, most of it to prevent from stuff getting wet, is a tarp. You can go to Harbor Freight or Walmart and get a cheap, like 10 by 8 tarp for probably like $12, maybe even less than that. But a tarp and just a little bit of paracord or bungee cords or rope or string, whatever the heck you got available, comes with us to every single show. And the number of times that it has started raining and I've either just thrown that tarp over something, or I've tied it off to the tent and created a slant like I did at this show so people could still walk underneath, but the stuff and the people weren't getting wet. Or in the first night or the second night, you saw that I put it over the stuff that was going to be adjacent to the wall in case the tent wall had leaked. We bring a tarp to every single show for that reason. Like, we've even put it on the ground and then put the bags on top of it at other shows. And then when you're packing up at night, if you're leaving your stuff there, you could just put the tarp over the top, just like you would a sheet.
And it's good to put a sheet or if you're leaving your stuff there overnight, even if they say the gym is going to be locked or whatever is going to be locked or there's security or whatever, I like to throw that over my items at night. It's not going to stop someone from stealing, okay? If someone is determined to steal something, they're going to. But it just leaves you with one extra barrier. Like, if our neighbor who kept being late had put a tarp or a tablecloth on top of her stuff, she wouldn't have had as big of a chance of people stealing things. And I don't know if they did or not, but she was not there for 2 hours.
Right. Putting that sheet, that tarp, that whatever barrier it is over the top of it, it's not really that it's stopping someone from stealing it. It's stopping the temptation from stealing it because they're not even seeing what you have there.
Right.
Like, you're not going to steal $1 off a table that was left unattended if you can't see the dollar. You're not going to steal the plushie, the earrings, the whatever, if you don't even know it's there.
Right.
Obviously, there's still going to be those people that are going to be like, oh, what's underneath the sheet? And they're going to lift it up and they're going to see, and then they're going to steal it anyway. But you're not going to stop those people.
And if you are a jewelry vendor, I recommend taking your jewelry home overnight.
Every night.
I have a friend who's a jewelry vendor. We pick up her jewelry every night. She does not leave it there. She leaves all of her stands and everything, but she does not leave the jewelry there. And when you're selling a high-priced, small item that can easily be taken, don't leave it.
Yeah.
Don't, even if they say there's security, if it's an item that's easy to steal, that's at a higher price point, don't leave it there. Because people steal shit. Yep. People stole a hat in the middle of the day in broad daylight. Yeah. It still makes me mad. Anyway, that's it for the show. It was a really successful show. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Check and see if you're subscribed down below. YouTube told us that about 80% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed.
That's a lot.
It makes a huge difference to us. It shows the YouTube algorithm that people are enjoying our content, and it pushes it out to new people, and it then continues to show you our content as well. So please, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified when we post new videos. I'm Benjamin, and this is Sarah, and this is Crochet Vision.
Bye, guys.